Imagine building one of the most iconic companies in the world.
Money, Apple became the first U.S. company to be worth $2 trillion. Can you believe that?
Only to be forced out by the very man you hired. This is the story of how Steve Jobs, the visionary behind Apple, ignored the first law of power and paid the ultimate price.
And an internet communicator, an iPod, a phone. Are you getting it?
In the late 1970s, Steve Jobs was the face of Apple. He was brilliant, charismatic, and obsessed with innovation. But as Apple grew, investors worried that Jobs lacked the discipline to lead a Fortune 500 company. So in 1983, Jobs set out to recruit a seasoned executive to be Apple's CEO. He found John Sculley, the respected president of PepsiCo, and asked him a legendary question.
He said, "Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or do you want to come with me and change the world?"
At first it seemed perfect. Sculley brought business experience. Jobs brought vision. But behind the scenes, tension was brewing. Jobs constantly challenged Sculley's authority. He publicly criticized decisions and made Sculley look uninspired by comparison. Jobs wanted Apple to be the reflection of his genius. He didn't realize he was making his master feel small. Sculley, feeling undermined and overshadowed, began gathering support from Apple's board. In 1985, everything came to a head. After disappointing sales of the Macintosh, Sculley called an emergency board meeting. He proposed removing Steve Jobs from all product responsibilities. The board agreed. Overnight, Steve Jobs was stripped of power at the company he had founded. He had outshone the master, and the master struck back. Years later, Steve Jobs returned to Apple as a wiser leader, but he never forgot this lesson. Law number 1 of the 48 laws of power: never outshine the master. Make your superiors feel confident, not threatened. When you make others feel small, they will eventually find a way to cut you down. If Jobs had allowed Sculley to feel like the hero, perhaps history would have been different. So if you want to rise in any organization, respect the master's ego. Because power isn't just about talent, it's about timing, alliances, and knowing when to let someone else feel important. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more real-life lessons from the 48 laws of power. Which law should we cover next? Leave a comment below.